Hi, I'm Stephen Dittmeyer, and you're listening to English Breakfast Radio.
Yes, that's right. You are a little bit of four in a row right there with Nirvana, Ozzy Osbourne, Collective Soul, and Red Hot Chili Peppers. We'd like to invite and welcome Mr. Daniel Bruce to the green room. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you? You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Quick weather report. I ask of every guest who comes in here. What's the weather out like?
It's actually kind of beautiful, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
all right.
you got these storm clouds from the right, and then there's this sun coming in. I came out into a rainbow this morning.
Okay.
So it was one of those. It's wet but beautiful.
All right. Well, it's always wet here. That's for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
And has a lot of wetness.
Find the silver lining.
Is that something all directors see when they walk outside? You know, you're like
rain. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be right. It must be.
Exactly.
So everything's framed in a canvas for you.
Everything's straight into a Michael Bay film. As you walk out, Hans Zimmer is playing. You know, it's kind of.
Don't be afraid of the microphone. You can come a little closer.
Yeah, you gotta step a little closer. Yeah.
You can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Creep up on it.
I'll give it a blowjob. Can I say that on air?
Elaine does it every week.
Yeah. I was going to say that you can take Elaine's place by holding the microphone like a penis.
Yeah. Elaine likes to hold it up like that, but she's a girl. Yeah, so does Terry sometimes.
Yeah, well, I go back and forth.
Yeah. Terry's switch hitter.
Generally one of those doors that swings both ways.
So now we have a serious.
So let's all be serious now, boys.
We have a serious director.
Mr. Daniel Bruce, welcome to English Breakfast Radio. You are a filmmaker. Is that correct? Filmmaker and director?
Same thing.
And okay, and I'm sure you wear a lot of other hats and aprons as well.
No. Director is the label.
And
filmmaker, yeah.
You also have a couple of production companies as well you work with?
I work with a lot of production companies. I work in commercials and I work in drama.
Okay.
So I work with different production companies and drama for different projects.
Mm-hmm. And you're originally from South Africa?
I am, indeed.
And where? Yeah. Joburg or Cape Town?
Cape Town.
Cape Town, okay.
Definitely.
All right. And how long you are living in the Netherlands?
14 years, I think 14, since 2001.
Ah, all right, okay.
Yeah.
And why to the Netherlands? Why did you decide to come here?
Well, I think I was 19, and what I do remember is that
hookers and pot.
Hookers and pot. I'll just know that. I don't get too serious about it. Start bashing my country. No, but seriously, if you're a white young man, it's very difficult to get work.
There in Cape Town,
in South Africa.
Really?
Yeah, and I had a Dutch passport. Because my parents came here in exile, and
your parents? Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the 80s, in the 70s. So and so I was actually born in Amsterdam, and then we went back when Mandela was released. So so I had this Dutch passport, and I'm sitting there going, "Let's go to Amsterdam."
You identify as Dutch or South African?
I identify as South African for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, once you've been in that country or lived in that country, it sits in your heart.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
You speak Dutch and Afrikaans?
Not Afrikaans, but I do speak Dutch now.
Oh, okay.
As out of necessity. Yeah.
And you speak fluent Dutch, of course.
Yes.
Read, write. You were schooled in Holland, naturally.
No. School?
No?
Not. Yeah.
Well, elementary, the beginning.
Yeah, but I went to the British School of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And in the 70s and 80s, it was really, really insular. These little sort of communities of expats. So I mean, I didn't have a lot of Dutch friends here either when I was growing up.
Oh, okay.
Strangely enough, here it's a little bit more mixed nowadays, but still, although now even most of my friends are foreigners.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's a cool. Strange thing, isn't it? The expats could kind of stick together when you sort of you go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, they still do. I mean, look at all of us. We still hang out at the waterhole, right? And most of us are expats.
Well, that's what I mean. I think we're a little bit more open to each other and open to new people. And the Dutch have their cliques. They've grown up with people all their lives, and entering into those little circles is always a bit more difficult. It's the same thing if you go to London or New York. You'll always find the natives over there are harder to get into.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true. I mean, in New York, there's always groups of expats who do live there, foreigners. We call them foreigners.
Foreigners.
Yeah, we call in America anybody who's not American, we call them a foreigner. Here we have a nicer term, expats. I've noticed.
Yeah, it sounds better.
But yeah, it sounds better. So there's always a clicking community.
You said something.
Anybody outside of Texas is just a
You said something which was, once you've been to South Africa, it lives in your heart, which is very poetic, by the way.
Thank you.
But somewhere, what did you mean about that? Is it the weather or the ethic or?
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, there's a lot of things going on there. You live through a lot when you live there. You know, you're witnessing all the crimes and politics, but on the other hand, a lot of beautiful things.
Yeah, what are the beautiful things? Nobody ever talks about it.
Well, that's the thing. It is extremely beautiful. It's a country of contrast.
Yeah.
And that contrast, it burns itself into you, of course. I mean, it's conflict. Like why we love film, you know, it's conflict. So you gotta understand. So that's why when you've experienced a country or a life like that, you don't leave that behind. It's
right.
You know, if you come to sort of socialist Europe, it's all very kind of easy going. Right. It doesn't leave a mark on you the way that a place like South Africa can.
And how did that affect your filmmaking?
Well, the contrast gives you insight. Into life, into human beings, into the human condition, a lot more than when you're looking at everybody on a more flat level. I mean, you really see the extremes of human character, and that I think that really those were really valuable tools for me as a filmmaker, into getting insight into characters and into people, because that's what film is really, isn't it?
Yeah. That's very cool. I never thought of it like that. Question: the movie that I saw that you did about the KLM flight was El Al flight, Israeli flight into the Bijlmer, was actually very sensitive, and I have to say it was very well done.
Thank you.
It's
I was
a
impressed at how well
spectacular
done
movie.
it was.
Thank you.
But what made you choose this particular topic?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know why it sits really. It touches you, but this one really did. And the funny thing is, I wasn't even in the country when it happened. But one of my really good friends, Gordana, she was in the accident, in the crash.
Yeah,
she was living in the building making dinner when the airplane hit the apartment building. And
wow.
I remember her telling me the story just of a Christmas. And
we should tell the people who haven't seen it the story. Basically, in what year was it? 1992. In El Al.
Yeah,
plane crashed into the Bijlmer, and that's what the movie is about. It's about.
Well, it's not necessarily about the movie about crashing a plane. It's more about
the character,
the loss of people.
It is. It's about the fact that it's about identity and how all the people that lived in that apartment building were all undocumented. So when the airplane crashed in there, the Dutch came up with a death toll, which is I think 34.
39 people on the ground.
And that's not a lot.
Right.
But what the problem was is that everybody who was living in the apartment building were undocumented. So when we did research into it, the amount went up into the hundreds. Because nobody actually knew how many people or who was living there.
And you had some apartments with one registered person, but they had
20 people.
20 people living in, as your film showed. People really slammed on. Well, you saw the movie, yeah?
In the Ghanaian community, they were renting out chairs to sleep on. I mean, that's how full it was in each one of these one or two bedroom apartments. So that's basically how dense that apartment building was.
Wow.
So our main research before doing the film, I mean, it's fiction, but based on reality, it was to find out. And so we went into the Ghanaian communities and things like that, for instance, and poked around, and it just turned out indeed that hundreds and hundreds went missing after.
Were they receptive to you when you come in there? Since I'm sure it's still a touchy subject.
It took a lot to break into that. We went in through the church. We managed to get in through the church. That was the only way to get into the community. Through the church.
Through the church?
Yeah, the Ghanaian church.
Okay.
There was a pastor, Father Coney. He helped. He was a very influential man. Yeah.
Was he receptive to it? I would imagine
he was very much so. Yeah. So especially when he heard what our cause was, what the point of the film was to enlighten people to
what the real loss, the real tragedy, not the fact of a plane falling.
Yeah, because for 20 years people have never really taken into account the amount of unknown names that actually died there.
People just vaporized, and that's it. They left Ghana and they came here for promise, and
And of course, that was the most interesting thing about it, is that people who live here undocumented, they live in a state of limbo. They come over to Europe or wherever. I mean, now we've got the whole situation now.
Syria, a lot of folks from Syria.
Well, exactly,
here.
and I think what happens. They come over here. They think, okay, we're going to go to Europe. We're going to have a European life. But they don't.
Yeah.
They live in limbo because they can't show their faces. They live in these little sort of communities, neither here nor there, in between.
And this is still going on.
Of course, and they're completely invisible to everybody. So when a disaster happens like this, and that's what the film's really about, who were they really? Did they ever really exist? And did they really ever have an identity? So that was really what the film was trying to kind of revolve around.
How was it received here?
Yeah, really, really well. Really, really well. We also one of the there were a lot of screenings and premieres and things for the film, but one of the most touching ones was the one where we shot it in the Balmer itself to the survivors and the families of the survivors.
Wow, and
it was amazing. It was
a lot of tears. I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot. And that was the big test for me. When we set out to make the film, it was really important that we didn't come up with some Hollywood approach to try and kind of dramatize it.
And it wasn't at all. I mean,
we wanted to make sure that everything to the details of the art direction, everything was thoroughly researched to try and make sure it was the way it was when back in the day, so that when people who were there watch it, that they can be transported back and that they
really touched their hearts. You really got to.
We wanted to give respect.
Yeah.
I think that was our main issue.
That's how I saw it as. At the end of the film, I was like, wow, I knew about the crash, but I had no detail on it.
No.
Yeah, and your film, that film was In Het Niets. That translates to what?
Into thin air.
Into thin air.
Yeah.
And well, exactly, into thin air. So when I walked out of that, I was, although it was drama, it was fiction, but it was based on reality. So that may have happened.
Well, that was the thing. These characters in the film, of course, are fictional, but you never know because you never knew who really was there in the first place.
Exactly.
So that was quite interesting. These people could have existed.
And it was so spot on to reality, the film. I mean, the actor, the older man, what was it? Do you remember his name?
Agima, the actor, Isaka Sawadogo?
The older man and the young girl.
Yeah. So Isaka was the actor who played Agima.
Amazing acting.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Amazing acting.
He's got a great career now as well. He's, the movie... what is it now? Untouchable.
Untouchable.
Yeah, exactly. So he's immediately after my film, he was starring in Samba, which was the same directors as that.
He's in that one.
Yeah, he's in that one as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But he's got an amazing career. He's
the lead. He's the lead in that film.
He's one of the leads. Yeah.
And he's also a really good actor in your film.
I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah,
okay.
he's amazing. He's just one of the most powerful actors I've ever worked with. I was totally spoiled. This is one of my first proper long format dramas, and from now on, I don't think I could ever work with actors that aren't at that caliber.
I don't blame you, right?
It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
To work with somebody like that.
You have interesting future plans?
I do, yeah.
Now that you're an established filmmaker.
I've got a couple of features that are being in development at the moment, and a British TV series, which I can't talk about at the moment. One of the very interesting projects is one of the ones that have been going on for quite a long time. My father is a playwright, and he's one of his masterpieces. His best works. Did very well. Won many awards. Went to Broadway, and
he went to Broadway.
He went to Broadway, and so.
A play your dad wrote.
Yeah,
it was on Broadway.
Called Groundswell. Yeah, so we over here with the production company that I work with mainly for drama, CTM Pictures. We've bought the rights for that, the film rights for that. So the last couple of years we've been developing that now. So I'm actually writing it with my father. So it's like a bit of a sort of a passion project, joining the two crafts together and hopefully being able to collaborate. One day when he's gone, I want to be able to say I collaborated with my father on.
That's great.
On something, yeah. So it's quite sentimental.
Of course.
And it takes place in a town that after the divorce of my father and my mother, he went up there to get some perspective, and I used to go to that town all the time to visit him. So that the story takes place in the town. So there's a lot of sort of very personal things to that. So that's a drama. I mean, that'll. Yeah,
I think it's great to have a great playwright as a father to write scripts with.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And he's an actor as well. And,
Oh,
and what
my
you
goodness,
find
yeah.
with actors is the
Yeah.
dialogue that they write is just incredible.
Yeah, it
When
has to be.
writers write dialogue, it's like comes out of a movie. And
Yeah.
when actors write dialogue, good actors write dialogue, it's poetry. It's
It rolls off the tongue properly
just completely
because they have to say it.
exactly
Yes.
because they know what it is to say it. They write it for themselves in a way. You know?
When is this slated to start filming?
The final draft is in a month, and then
Oh,
we
okay.
start financing, which already has started already. So we're hoping within a year. I think the production company gave it within 2 years to
Are you low
be,
budget?
to be rolling.
Are you
So-
low budget or high budget or medium
Medium,
budget?
so 5 million
Yeah.
is pretty much medium range budget. It's
Wow, really?
yeah. I mean, if you go over 5, then you go into another category.
Yeah.
Low budget, micro budget is below a million.
Yeah, that's.
I'm doing one of those for the Dutch now, so I'm doing a Dutch film.
Oh, who are you doing? Production Companies International. It's
so-
Dutch. It's Dutch and the production company.
Yes, well, the production company that I work with now, I'm actually a producer there. So I've come in. They've brought me in as a producer.
You know, this is really getting nepotistic.
It is.
Writer, producer, family.
Yeah.
Why don't you just sit here with tentacles going, well, I'm doing everything.
I own everything.
That's cool.
Well, you know, it's
You
how
should,
incubate it.
man. As a filmmaker,
But
you
that-
should have rights and you should be able to use your creativity on your own terms.
That's true. Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's. You're right.
Go for it, dude.
And getting back to In Het Niets,
Indeed.
did you get any? I wouldn't say ill reaction, but did you get any pushback from Amsterdam or Holland about this, about exposing?
Strangely enough, not. I was kind of expecting some kind of shitstorm.
Oh
Can I
wow,
say
really? A
shitstorm?
shitstorm? Oh, okay. Wow, that
I
much.
wa- I
Yeah,
was-
you could say that. Yeah.
Yeah, but, no, because it was something that we got a lot of pushback in pre-production for.
You didn't tell them about the book.
There were a lot of people that just stood the ground and said, no, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. You know, a lot of deniers.
Really?
Yeah.
Denial.
That's a big
A
thing.
lot of denial, and
Amazing.
people just wouldn't help us because they said no. You know, they didn't want to believe that it was possible. And of course, we did a hell of a lot of research. We didn't just make this up, and of course, all the research was confirmed what we were doing. But there was a lot. So, and the higher it went, the more denial there was, of course, because people didn't want to open this up.
An old
So
can of worms.
Yeah, it's a big old can of worms. So I expected there'd be a bit more pushback, but now there's a lot of publicity, and a lot of people saw the film, and yeah, strange enough that they accepted it.
Did the movie ever get to Ghana? Was it ever displayed
I don't
there?
think it ever did, actually.
Interesting.
There were ideas and plans to it, but it never did.
Would be wonderful, I think.
Yeah, it would be actually.
As an homage to them as well.
Well, the
yeah.
worst thing is we didn't find a lot of Ghanaian actors here, so I had a lot of non-Ghanaians acting,
Okay,
and
sure,
they were
yeah.
all trained and voice
Voices,
coached
yeah.
to try to speak in a Ghanaian.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I think that would kind of be blown open in Ghana. I think they would be like,
No, you can't go there with that.
No, maybe not.
no, I think they would appreciate it. You know, but we made it in Europe.
And you had to, in the movie, you actually had airplane wreckage, real airplane wreckage.
Yeah, we did.
There,
we did.
you actually brought it on location.
Yeah, my
Now,
production designers went to a.
Where do you find broken airplane parts?
It wasn't broken when we got it. This was the highlight of my production design team, art directors. They went up to just some place just before Germany, I think. And it's a kind of an airplane. They buy older airplanes, they fly them over. They're functioning airplanes, and then they scrap them. So my production design team got to not a brand new, sorry, but a full
Thing.
LOT Polish Airlines jet. It was a 737, not a 747. And they just got to tear the shit out of it. And they got to tear it apart and choose which pieces. Like, you know, like you go to a butcher and you choose what
Cuts of meat you want. Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
So you got a tail section and a this section. It was fantastic. And they brought it all on over to Amsterdam.
By truck, I guess.
By truck. And then we took it onto a fire training ground with the fire department trained.
okay.
And we lit that shit up.
Really?
It was fun. That was a lot of fun. I mean,
And that's the filming of when it was burning?
when it's burning, yeah, we had a huge terrain. The production that brought in concrete with bulldozers. We built an entire disaster site.
Really?
Funny thing is, and we shot about 4 hours of footage on it. I think, what is it, like 40 seconds in the film?
Yeah.
It's like a
All
minute.
that work for 40 seconds
Yeah,
of
I got some great footage though for something. We could make a music video out of it or something.
Yes, a making
You wanna
of
sell
video.
some,
Or actually, you can use the same footage again from different angles for another airplane disaster movie.
We could. I could sell it as stock. I don't know, but it was fun and it was a great shoot. Yeah, it was great.
So none of that wreckage was brought to the Belmer. It was no, of course not.
No, we recreated it all, and then visual effects. Of course, we added set extensions and backdrops to make it look like, to add the buildings of the Belmer into the.
Really, that was all done after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's that one very explicit shot where he's on the landing, and then you see his point of view, and there's that huge gaping hole, burning hole. That's all visual effects. Of course.
Ah, okay. And some of it was filmed on location as well.
That's shot on location, and we had real fire burning on, flames burning on the buildings in the Belmer, and then that gets composited later against green screen, and then
really
add in. It's like composited about 4 layers.
It was very well done. I enjoyed the cinematography, putting it together.
Yeah, it was fun. It was the interviews and the making of was quite interesting as well, because then you get to see a bit more of that.
I'm looking forward to your new film because it's so in-house with you being producer and your father, about his memories of moving and you directing.
It's not about that, but it is in that arena. Yeah. So it's gonna be quite amazing. It's amazing. The characters there. It's a little diamond dredging town on the west coast of South Africa, where De Beers and things go.
Yeah.
And you have these cowboy. Basically, what they are is they're all kind of ex-Navy SEALs, and they go there. And they become diamond dredgers, and and these boats, they're kind of massive vacuum cleaners, and these divers go down into freezing water. It's freezing, and these kind of dry suits, these really powerful vacuum nozzles, and they suck up diamond differs gravel.
Really?
It's cowboys, and they're all kind of converted fishing boats, and these guys get propellers in their faces, they get their arms ripped off by these things, they get rocks full. It is serious, dangerous work. And this town revolves around it, and it's kind of isolated from the rest of South Africa, from the politics and everything, because everybody there is only focused on the jackpot, and you don't get paid unless you hit a little pocket of diamonds. And then these guys, they go out to buy BMWs, they get drunk for weeks, and then you'll find, there'll be all these houses with BMWs parked in them, but they can't move because they can't pay for the gas anymore. You know what I mean?
Because they blow it all in one shot.
This is the lifestyle there. It's this kind of the dream of the jackpot, and that's what controls this town. So this kind of is the arena of it, and it's bizarre. It's this weird, in the middle of arse end of nowhere.
Sounds like a great story.
Yeah, and the characters, I mean, they're rough, and
the characters are very rich.
They're very, very rich, very, very rich, and of course, So I mean, there's obviously more to the story and stuff, but this is a bit the town that I'm talking about. So it's going to be very interesting.
You have to get it done, so I want to see it. I hate to be so selfish, but it has to be done because I really want to see it. It sounds like a great movie of comedy, insanity, sadness, a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of that. It's very heavy. I mean, it's about redemption and stuff. It's quite a serious.
With an award-winning playwright as the scriptwriter.
Daniel, when did you start getting into filmmaking? And because if your dad was a playwright already, or it was was it passed on?
My parents were both artists. Mom owns an art gallery, and she was an artist, and my dad a playwright, and I was the son of a pair of poor artists. So I was like, screw this shit, I'm going to go into advertising.
Did you go into advertising?
I did. I'm a commercial director as well. So I still do advertising.
Okay.
So
I need to talk to you about something. I'm doing something for and they don't want to give me no.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
All fair.
But yeah, so I started studying in advertising and things in South Africa. And then I came over here, and because of course you rebel against your parents. You're like, fuck that shit. I'm not gonna be poor all my life.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be doing art, but then get paid for it.
Yeah, especially in advertising, commercial art. Yeah, and I work in advertising too. Yeah,
you do. Really?
Yeah.
So I mean, that was kind of my little, And then I got into Holland, and I started studying graphic design as a designer. And then I just decided, I didn't want to do it anymore. I mean, the advertising thing on that side. And I was a bartender.
Boy, do I hear that.
I was just like, I don't want to be on that side. I want to be dealing with clients all the time. And, it's all politics. It's not what I thought it would be. Just
no.
Coming up with cool concepts.
No, it isn't. No.
It's politics. So, I mean, yeah, I was a bartender in Amsterdam, and I decided, I want to make a short film, and that's kind of where it started.
All right.
21 years old, and I remember the chef in the kitchen was a Czech guy who used to do theater lighting. And I was like, yeah, dude, you gotta come and do the lighting on the set. And it was like another guy who used to write for the football column. I was like, yeah, you come write my script. It was like,
Great.
And we got all these expats together, and kind of, and all
cool.
the actors were bartenders from other places and stuff like that. And I mean, I was 21. It was really cool, and so it was innocent. And we got this thing together, and at the end of the day, the Film Academy guys got involved and all got a lot more professional. And strangely enough, it just snowballed, and it became this really big kind of thing. And we had this huge premiere at the Panama with 1,000 people paying to get in, and it was. I still get emails about like where to get DVDs. It's funny. It just these things snowball, and I think I didn't know I wanted to be a director while I was even making it until about the 4th day on set. And I'm like, wow, this shit's cool. I think I want to be a director, and I think that's how it started. That was the moment I remember very clearly.
As
when
a
I decided this is what I want to do.
As a director, do you see life do you see life framed? Like, can you compose on the fly as you're walking?
No, I sit more in my head. I'm more about the stories. I mean, I'm not a cinematographer. I mean, of course, when it comes to that part of the process, of course, then I'm thinking visually, obviously, and how to tell a story visually. But when I'm walking along the street, I'm thinking more about people,
dialogue
stories,
and story content.
Not even dialogue. That's still
okay.
a step further. It's concept and observation. That's the word. It's observations. I mean, your film is made up of observations of the human condition and humans. And the more observations you have, the more and understanding you have of those things, the more you start to layer that into your films.
Okay.
If you think only in dialogue and in visuals and things like that, you find your storytelling becomes very flat. You're doing it very functionally, and if you, especially as the director, then you need to think a bit more about the themes and I don't know. Am I losing you guys here?
No, it was very interesting stuff.
But that is, I think that is the director's job. Is to keep an eye on that, to make sure you're telling a story, a real story, having that there's actual truth to it, and human observation, your observations about the world. And that is that makes your personal angle as a director, is your observation of the world and the way you see it. And that's I guess what I think about when I'm walking down the street.
Very cool. We're getting a.
I always wonder. While I watch films, I always wonder. I mean, I study acting, as you know, and but then I see the direction side of it, and I said, well, it can't be that hard, can it? No, it is really hard, dude.
Action.
If you don't have the ink for it, forget it, dude. It is not an easy feat at all.
It's just a giant puzzle that's kind of with all the pieces are jumbled up.
Yeah, it's just here, build it,
an
and
overview of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got a message from producer Lane. We need to take a break really quick for about 5 minutes. So let's do a little bit of songs, and we'll get back to Daniel Bruce.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, here on EBR, a little bit of They Might Be Giants. A little birdhouse in your soul, EBR, 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 EBR. Did I say EBR?
Looking her in the alley by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. I have a secret to tell from my electrical well. It's a simple message and I'm leaving out the whistles and bells. So the room must listen to me, filibuster vigilantly. My name is Blue Canary, one note spelled L-I-T-E. My story's infinite, like the Longines Symphony. It doesn't rest. Blue Canary in the alley by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. a picture opposite me of my primitive ancestry, which stood on rocky shores and kept the beaches shipwreck free. Though I respect that a lot, I'd be fired if that were my job. After killing Jason off and countless screaming Argonauts, blue bird of friendliness, like guardian angels, it's always near. Blue canary in the outlet by the light switch, who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. While you're at it, leave the night light on inside the birdhouse in your soul. Not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. While you're at it, leave the night light on inside the birdhouse in your soul. Not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. While you're at it, leave the night light on inside the birdhouse in your soul. Not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul.
A little bit of Doors right now. Those They Might Be Giants, Birdhouse in Your Soul. A little bit of Doors, Peace Frog. Back to Daniel Bruce. 8:46 a.m. 106.8 FM. EBR.
Dead blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. Sheet blood in the streets, it's up to my knee. Sheet blood in the streets, the town of Chicago. Sheet blood on the rise, it's following me. Get about to break the day. She came in and she drove away. Sunlight in her hair. She glided the streets on the river of sadness. She glided the streets, it's up to my thigh. Yeah, the river is red down the legs of the city. No women in the crowd and rivers are weeping. She came to town and then she drove away. Sunlight in her hair. Indians scattered on dawn's highway bleeding. Ghosts crowd the young child's fragile eggshell mind. Blood in the streets in the town of New Haven. Blood stains the roofs and the palm trees of Venice. Blood in my love in the terrible summer. Bloody red sun of fantastic LA. Blood screens the brain and chop off the fingers. Blood will be born in the birth of a nation. Blood is the rose of mysterious union. Dead blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. Blood in the streets, it's up to my knee. Blood in the streets, the town of Chicago. Blood on the rise is following me.
Yeah, that's right. You're listening to English Breakfast Radio, 106.8 FM, 103.3 cable. We're joined by Daniel Bruce and the rest of the Whack Pack. Happy Hump Day, Amsterdam. And now, back to the show. Welcome back. That's my little freestyle plug. I like that jam. I like that.
The Whack Pack.
The Whack Pack.
That was really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
We're a Whack Pack. We're missing one Whack Packer. but she's all right. She's away.
She's whack packing in
She's
some
whack.
other place and
She's whack
whacking
packing
away.
elsewhere. So,
Places
ladies and
unknown.
gentlemen, if you're tuning in right now, you're watching Daniel Bruce sitting in the middle of your TV screen. He is a director-filmmaker with the Midas touch, as a matter of fact. He comes from a family of artists. He has a wonderful movie, In Het Niets, and and of course he's working on new projects as we speak. And Daniel, how can people get in touch with you? Social media, I imagine?
Go to my website, probably best, www.danielbruce.nl.
Danielbruce.nl, yeah, that's very simple. And I'm sure if you do a YouTube search in your name, I'm sure some of your projects are going to come up, I imagine.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, on the site, there's a couple of... I don't put everything up there, and to be honest with you, the site's mainly geared towards commercials.
You're more on the Vimeo side, I imagine.
Sorry?
You're more on Vimeo?
It is, yeah, exactly. But that's, of course, professionally speaking.
Correct.
Commercials are the bread and butter. But on that side are also links to the films, so you can see In It Niets on that side.
On Vimeo?
On Vimeo,
on your
also
Daniel
on
Bruce.
my website. Yeah.
Oh, it's available for free for anybody to watch?
Yeah, just watch it.
Oh, so, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to watch that movie, and I do recommend watch that movie, DanielBruce.com. .nl, corrected. DanielBruce.nl, and it'll pop up right there on your. If you click on main reel, I guess.
No, not on main reel.
No,
it's
short
on
film
the
drama.
Short films,
That's it.
Yeah. And drama, yeah.
And it's right there, and there's the main actor. And you're also on Facebook, I imagine, but
of course,
but
as Daniel Bruce.
As Daniel Bruce, and.
Thanks for plugging me there, Betty.
Thank you for coming in.
I like long walks on the beach and
you like nice long walks on the beach. What's your favorite food? Go on.
Man, what is your favorite food?
Just for me.
Pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza?
Isn't it everybody's favorite food?
Well, yeah. You got a favorite pizzeria here in town?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. There's La Perla, which is in Amsterdam.
Which one is that?
In the Jordan. It's incredible.
Good pizza place.
Let me back up.
That's a good pizza place.
What is it?
La Perla.
La Perla, where is it?
Good.
It's close to New Lelystad and
Why not?
somewhere over there. It's in the Jordan.
It's insane. You have to get the carciofo, which is with marinated artichokes. It's incredible.
All right.
That's the only pizza I've ever ordered there.
I like Ciro. You know Ciro Pizzeria?
That's okay. Yeah.
It's not bad. They take a long time, slightly expensive, but the food, the pizza is really, really, really good.
All right. Well, if you're there next time, which is down the road from Renata's,
Okay.
that's even better. So try and get down there.
All right.
You guys have to write all these down for me because I'm really not up on my pizza.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the good Italian stuff. No, we're not talking Domino's here.
No.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
Domino's doesn't make it.
There's a good pizzeria on Rosenstraat. I think it's called Il Forno, and they really have a brick
oven.
Yeah, but a big dome, a big friggin' and a really good. Terry, you love it. Really New York
I didn't
style.
know I was with so many pizza freaks.
Yeah.
Dude, pizza. Everybody loves pizza.
Yeah, who doesn't like pizza?
That's what I do when I'm desperate and there's nothing else in the world.
Hayden, do you eat pizza when you're
course
watching
I eat pizza,
when
but
you're
I would
watching
thought-
cricket?
No,
of course.
we have sandwiches and beer.
like cucumber sandwiches.
And barbecues.
Come on.
Do you have cucumber sandwiches with the edges cut off?
I
really
have
good.
done, but they're not very filling.
No.
They use salad cream and butter with those, and
And watercress.
I used to like bovril and watercress for some reason.
Bovril's fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah. Just white toast with butter and Bovril.
Yeah, if you don't like Marmite, you'll like bovril.
No, I don't
We're
like
getting into
Marmite.
horrible,
Yeah.
horrible white people food here. Marmite and
Well, I think I like more than pizza is barbecue.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You're
A braai.
South- you're
Now
South
we're getting
African.
the
You're
barbecue.
brilliant.
Now you got,
Braai is that-
now you got Terry
the
back in the
meat.
conversation.
got me excited.
There we
Barbecue.
go. Yeah.
Do you know who has the best steak in town? Oddly enough, I tried Lucia,
Huh.
which was okay, but oddly enough, the Hard Rock Cafe has a great steak.
Yeah, really?
They're just
Okay.
shrinking more and more.
Yeah,
but it's a very good cut of beef.
Shrinking in size, you mean the
Yeah.
portions? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's really sad.
There's a great what's it called? Cannibal Royale. Have you heard
Yeah,
of it?
it's really good. And
You bet?
there, the steak is fantastic.
Yeah, Terry, we
I'm
got to
doing
do
a
that.
steak hunt. I'm going to write that one down.
That is
Cannibal
really good.
Royale.
Cannibal
I
Royale.
like that.
Since the gentrification of Amsterdam, there's been a lot of good meat places.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying gentrification is good, but there is a positive side to it.
But good meat
The
places are good.
The hipsters brought good burgers and meat.
Yeah, that's true. You know the butcher?
And gin and tonics. I mean,
The butcher. You know the butcher on Albert Kaupstraat?
Yes.
They're really good.
Oh, yeah,
They
they're
make
really good.
Did you know
authentic
that's a
burgers,
nightclub?
Really good.
Yeah, there's a nightclub through the back of it.
The back of it is a nightclub, a speakeasy.
It's
Get
a
outta
total
here.
speakeasy. Yeah.
I shouldn't say that online on the air.
I think they'd want you to.
I don't think we're in prohibition
Go to the
days.
butcher.
You're
It's a
fine.
speakeasy. Knock on the door and they go.
Get some illegal hooch
Yeah.
right in the back.
What's the
Is there a
password?
barbecue at the back?
Like what? Weather
No,
warehouse?
it's
I
just
don't know. The
club.
password is money
As in shit.
everywhere.
That's passwords for everything, eh? Well, there you go. So, yeah.
We've covered
English
a lot of
breakfast
topics.
radio.
I don't know how I'm going to tie them together in a song. This should be an interesting challenge.
I think you could do it. So Terry, what we've going to try out now is Terry's a wonderful, fantastic musician as well. He's
shit.
been a
What do you say after
street
that?
musician for. I'm lying. Come on. He's been a street musician for about 20 years now, living more than 20 years here in Amsterdam, and you can catch him live on the Waterhole sometimes. He does some gigs over there.
Actually, I'm playing on the 13th.
Cool.
And did you play the Outmarked?
No, of course not.
Oh, you did not. Okay, you
I
were
went
there.
and watched I went to Outmart and I got to see the surfboard. I mean the
Skateboard.
skateboarders. Man, I watched the skateboard composition. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
If I were 30 years younger, I might even try it.
Yeah. Well, why not? I wouldn't.
No?
No, I used to skateboard when I was a kid.
Did
I
you?
busted my wrist. Yeah, I
Oh,
busted
yeah,
this
you
wrist
can
really
bust
bad.
everything. I would bust everything.
I
You
bust
can't
my wrist
everything.
really, really bad.
I'm
when I
gonna
was a
try and
kid.
tie all this stuff in.
So we're gonna try with Terry we used to do it. I used to do a wrap up song, and now Terry's got his awesome guitar.
My awesome guitar.
Yeah,
As opposed
so
to my regular.
he's
And
gonna
by
shot
7
list
o'clock in the morning,
everything.
Improv head. I could be dead. We talked about many things. We started with dirty laundry to get us into the swing. And Kanye West is going to run for president of the USA in 2022. I can't imagine that. Another crazy person in the White House, rapping up and down the halls. Don't want to talk about it at all. I'd rather talk about Wes Craven, who gave you Freddy Krueger, that was cool. He was no fool, gave you horror and dreams, but he's passed away. That's all I can say. Goodbye, Wes, you were the best. You were horrible, but now you're gone, gone, gone. Yes, you're gone. I don't know what we were talking about, the spot show. Something about the spot show. Oh, I remember. You don't like tomatoes as long as they're ground up. You like them whole. You're weird. Don't even like spaghetti sauce. Which goes right along with the next topic. They want to register the dogs every little bit. 'Cause too many people have dogs and shit.
They love
In
dog shit.
Amsterdam, everybody's shitting in Amsterdam. Everybody's getting crazy. Which, of course, speaking of crazy, takes us to South Africa. That's where our new favorite filmmaker's from. He made a great movie about Into Thin Air, about how nobody cared about all the immigrants that were disappeared in the airplane crash in what year? 92. Yeah, the people just got blown away into thin air. Nobody cared. They care about the dog shit. Everybody's upset about the dog shit. Anyway, I got all the topics in tonight, and I'd like to say goodbye. Oh, I've got 2 more minutes. Damn it, what am I gonna do?
1 minute.
2 more minutes. What can I do? I'll sing a stupid Bob Dylan song for you. No, I won't. This has been English Breakfast Radio.
What's up?
And now we're going away.
You gotta go. All right, bro. Thank you very
What
much.
can I say but goodbye? Are you gonna talk over me? Got 1 more minute. You can do it now.
I will.
He's gonna talk over me, but listen closely. I'm gonna try and play louder so you hear me loud. Cause I'm not humble, I'm kind of crazy, I'm kind of proud. Go on, try and get a word in.
And there you go, and that slams the lid on things for today. Thank you for tuning in on English Breakfast Radio. Tune in later this week for more of English Breakfast Radio on 106.8 FM. English Breakfast Radio is brought to you by Salto Public Amsterdam. It's available on KPN and Ziggo Television. We're also available simulcast online on the internet. Check it out, salto.nl. I'd like to thank Daniel Bruce for coming in. Check him out, danielbruce.nl. Have a great day.